we want to perform integer based input output operations, we will go for get w and put w functions. Then get c and put c. Among these two, we will try and understand the first one, that is the get c function. Now the get c function basically is helpful for us to perform our input operations on a file. The getC function is helpful to perform the input operations. So what do we mean by input operations? We mean that we are able to read the contents. We are able to read the contents of a file. So for example, we have a file here called test.txt. So what are the contents that are present on this file? We have the text hi, hello, good morning. So this is the content of this particular file. So the getC function is going to help us to read these contents which are existing on a particular file. So the file name here is test.txt. Now the getC function here is capable of reading single characters at a time. Okay, the getC function is capable of reading single character at a time from the file. So what is the meaning of this particular, that it is capable of reading a single character at a time? So for example, now the getC function, first it is going to read the first character, that is h, and this particular character h is stored in the variable. Next time it will read another variable I and is stored, and again we will try to print this on the monitor. Okay, so for the understanding here, let us try to understand this same set of lines with the help of the syntax and example for getC. So first let us have a look at the syntax. So the syntax for getC is going to be, we are going to require a variable to store the characters that are read by the function getC. The getC function takes just one parameter, and the parameter is nothing but the file pointer. Is the file pointer. Now, what is this file pointer? So in the yesterday's session, we have seen, we had this example where we have declared a file pointer, and this file pointer is pointing to one particular file or is pointing to one particular document. So here, the file pointer fp is pointing to the document test.txt. So here, again, when we come back to the getC function, the same file pointer is going to be passed, which we have already declared. Now, what is this var? Let me write another statement here to understand that. So for example, the assumption here is we have declared a variable ch. We are using the getC function and the file pointer I need to pass. Now, every time the basic steps need to be performed, that is, we need to declare the file pointer, we need to perform the fopen operation, and if everything happens successfully, that is, if the file is opened successfully, then the file pointed to by fp, right? From that particular file, the contents are going to be read and are going to be stored in this variable ch. So for example here, you can see here, we are trying to open, we have declared a file pointer, we are trying to open the file. The file we are trying to open is test.txt. So if there is a problem in opening the file, these set of statements are executed. If there is no error, then instead of just printing this, we will try to perform the input output operation. So what we will do is, so here you can see that once the getC function starts executing, it will read the letter or the character H, and that will be assigned to this variable ch. Next time it will read the content I, and that will be stored in this variable ch. Then we have next line or the new line character slash in here, because after writing the word hi we have pressed enter, and on the second line we have written this statement. So the new line character is read, then the next set again H will be read, and again that will be stored in this ch. So this get C function will help us to read single character from a file. So the input here is going to be the file. We are not going to accept any input from the user. Now the important thing here, another important thing is, we have two more functions. We have getChar and putChar when it comes to files. So whenever you execute programs and you want to say that you want to take input from the user, okay, that is you are asking input from the user means you are waiting for the user to type certain characters from the keyboard. So that is when getChar will be used, when the input is needed from the keyboard. When the input is needed from the keyboard, we use getChar. But when we need the input from the file, when we need an input from the file, we make use of the function getC. So here the input is going to be from the file which is already existing in our computer. So what is putChar then? Again, putChar is related to files, but putChar will help us to have a look at our output by printing it on the monitor. Then if you want to print, or if you want the output to be written to a file, instead of printing it or displaying it on the console, the output, what we will do is we will have another text document or Word document, and we will try to put the output or write the contents onto that particular file. So for that we have the function putC. So the putC function will help us to perform our output operation by writing the contents onto a file. So remember that getChar and putChar are related to keyboard and monitor when we try to accept the input from the keyboard and when we want to display it on the monitor. getC and putC will fetch the file that are already existing. getC will fetch the file that is already existing as an input. So let us quickly now have a look at the example for our getC function. So let us go back here. Let us write a program. So before that, have a look at the set of statements here. What program we need to write. So the program that we need to write is to read the contents from a file and print on the terminal. That is, we need to print it on the monitor. So to read the contents means from a file means we need to make use of our getC function. So basically, reading the contents from the file means we need the input to be a file. So whenever we want the input to be a file, we make use of the getC, because getC is capable of taking a file as an input. We will write the FP or the file pointer which is pointing to a file. So that will act as an input. Then we need to print it on the monitor. So for that we will make use of our function putChar. So we need to include the header file stdlib.h, right, for the files. So now let us declare a file, the file pointer fp. Now once this particular file pointer is declared, the next step will be, we are going to try to open this particular file with the help of fopen function. The fopen function takes two parameters, right? So what we will do is we will try to read the contents of the already existing file, that is test.txt. So I will pass this particular file as input here. So I will write test.txt and I'll try to open it in the read mode. The next thing is we need to be sure that the file is existing. So we will make use of the condition that we have studied. We are going to check if the file pointer is pointing to null. Is pointing to null means the file that we are trying to open here, test.txt, it is not existing in the computer. So if it is not existing in the computer, we need to print an appropriate error message saying file opening error to indicate that there has been an error opening this file. So if there is an error with the file opening, we are going to exit from the execution of the program. If the file is opened successfully, then what we need to do? We need to read the character of this particular file one by one, and for that we are going to make use of our getC. So for that we will declare another variable, say char ch. Then we will make use of the while loop. Okay, we'll make use of the while loop here. Now the content that I read from the file needs to be stored in the variable ch. And how am I going to read the contents from the file? With the help of my getC function. Now the getC function reads or takes one parameter, and that parameter is nothing but the file pointer that we have declared here. So this is the file pointer. Now before we complete this while loop, what we need to understand again, there are two important things. Let us go back to this document here. So we have here two lines. Now the moment the first line ends, okay, we have two important notations, or you say you have two important things to understand. The two important things that we are talking about is EOL and EOF. So EOL indicates end of line. So what is end of line? End of line indicates that this particular line has been ended. So how do we understand if the particular line has been ended? Whenever we press enter, when we type something, and then when I press enter, it means this particular line we are ending this line and we are starting on a new line, right? So this indicates that it is end of line. Similarly, what is this end of file? EOF stands for end of file. So when you have a look at, assume that we have removed this, okay. So here in this particular text file, I am having only these two set of lines. So when the file pointer is going to come to this particular G, after that you will have another non-printable character. The non-printable character is called as end of file. EOF indicates that the file has come to an end and there is nothing more to read. So after this G, you can see that we do not have any more characters to read. So it indicates that this is end of the file. So no more characters to read. So end of line and end of file are both non-printable characters, or the characters which you cannot see. So the file pointer will be able to detect this. So now what we want to do is, we want to read this particular file till we reach the end of file. Once we have reached the end of file, it means that the file that we were trying to read, all the contents are over. We have read all the contents. So now here in the while loop, we are trying to store the characters one by one till we reach the end of the file. So for that we will write while ch is equal to get c of the file pointer is not equal to end of file. So we will read till the last letter. Once it becomes equal to end of file, the contents are over. So inside this, as and when we go on reading, what we will do is we will just try to display it on the monitor. So to display on the monitor, we need the function putchar. So we will write putchar, and this particular function we will pass this variable ch, which is holding the characters one by one. That's all. Then the file has to be closed. So we have written the fclose function. So this particular putchar is trying to print the content on our standard output device, which is the monitor. Now, once again, I will repeat this particular program. We have declared a file pointer. We have declared another variable ch. The first thing we need to do once we have declared a file pointer is we are trying to open the file. So this set of statements try to check whether there is an error with opening the file and prompt the user. So if the file has opened successfully, we are going to make use of the while loop, and we are trying to store the characters one by one from the file test.txt and put it in the variable ch. So the first time what happens is, first time checks, okay, this particular file is opened, so then the first character we have is h. So h is stored in this particular variable ch, and it checks, is h not equal to end of file? So h is not equal to end of file. After h, we still have these many characters to be read, right? So h is not the end of the file. So once the single character is stored here, we are going to print it on the screen. So putchar will first time print h. Then the loop continues till the condition becomes false. So next time again, what is going to be stored in ch? The variable I is going to be stored in the variable ch. The letter I is going to be stored in the variable ch. So again, it checks, is I not equal to end of file? Okay, so I is not equal to end of file. After I, we still have these contents to be read. So again, that particular letter I is printed with the help of the function putchar. So remember, likewise, all of these letters are read till you reach the last letter after G. What do we have after G? After G, we have a non-printable or the character that we cannot see, that is end of the file. So after G, we have another non-printable, non-seeable character that is called as end of the file. So after G, when the cursor comes here, so now it verifies. So this time ch will be equal to end of the file, and that is how the loop gets terminated. So this is the simple program. Let us have a look at the execution of the program. Let's go to the terminal. So remember that you need to make sure that you are in the right directory. If you have saved it in the home folder, so you can directly execute it from this particular location. So we'll compile it. Okay, we have two errors here. Okay, we are missing a bracket. So here a bracket is missing. So now it should work fine. Let us compile once again. Yes. So once we execute it, you can see the contents of this particular text file, that is test.txt, are read one by one, right? So they are read one by one, and one by one they are printed with the help of this putchar. So first time H is going to be stored in this. So this getC function is pointing to this particular file. So the first letter is H, that is stored here and that is displayed here. Then next, that is I, and so on. So one by one all of the characters are printed on the monitor with the help of the function. So this is about the getC, that is character oriented input output functions. The next function that we have is putC. So this character oriented input output operation putC is going to help us to perform our output operations on a file. Likewise, when getC helped us to read the contents of the file, the putC function will help us to perform the write operations or to write the contents to a file that is pointed by FP. So putC function will help us to write the contents to the file. Now similar to getC, the putC function, the putC function also is capable of writing a single character at a time. Is capable of writing a single character at a time, right? So let us have a look at the syntax. So the syntax for the putC function is, the putC function is capable of taking two parameters. Which are the two parameters that it can take? The two parameters that the putC function takes is the variable. The variable means the letter which we are trying to write onto the file. The variable and then the file pointer. So the file pointer will tell us to which particular file we are trying to write the content. So for example, okay, so assume that I have declared a character variable ch and I am trying to, I have assigned the value a, that means the ch is holding the letter a. Now if I make use of the putC function, it takes two parameters. One is the variable name or the variable which we want to print, and then the file pointer. So instead of now writing this generalized term var, I will write ch. So it means what? The putC function is now going to print what is there in this variable ch. So in the variable ch we have stored the letter a. So the letter A will be printed or the letter A will be written onto the file which is pointed by FP. Let us have a look at an example to understand this in a better way. Have a look at the set of statements, that is the problem definition. So what the problem definition here says? The problem definition here is program to read the contents from keyboard and write onto a file. So to again the input here, since we are reading the contents from the keyboard, now the input here is our keyboard. So for that, we know that if we want to accept the input from the user through the keyboard, we will make use of the getChar function. Then we need to print it or we need to display the output. We need to write the content on the file. So for that, we'll make use of the putC function. So remember again, recall, we have these two functions, getChar, putchar when it comes to keyboard and monitor, and when we want to pass a file as an input, we make use of getC. When we want the output to be written onto a file, we will make use of putC. So let us go back here. Now, the basic steps we need to follow, we will declare a file pointer. Next thing, let me declare another variable ch. So once the file pointer is declared, what are the basic steps we need to do? We need to open a file. Now since we are trying to perform the write operation, we need to change the mode of the file. So in the comments I have written now, I'll write it here, open the file in write mode. The write mode is indicated by the letter W. So we'll make use of the file pointer and the fopen function. Now let me create a file. Let the file name be as output.txt and the mode will be W. Okay. Now have a look at my directory. So this is my folder and you can see here I am just having these many files. I do not have anything called as output.txt. There is no such file called as output.txt. So whenever we make use of this W mode, okay, whenever we make use of the W mode, if the file is not existing, since we are in the write mode, it will create a file with this particular name. If the file is not existing, it will create a file with this particular name. If the file is already existing and we try to open it in the write mode, then what will happen? The contents, whatever are present in this particular file, will be replaced by the new content. Let me repeat it once again. Whenever we try to open a file in the write mode, if the file is not existing, it will be created with this particular name that we have specified. If the file is already existing and we open it in the write mode, then when we perform the write operation, that is when we try to write new contents, the old content will be lost. The old content will be replaced by the new content. So once we execute this, you will be clear with what I am trying to tell. So once the file is opened, next we are going to check for any file opening errors. So we will write these set of statements again. And we will prompt the user that there has been a file opening error. So if there is a file opening error, we cannot perform our input-output operations. We need to exit from the program. If the file has been opened successfully, the next thing is we need to perform our input-output operations. So we are going to write a printf statement here for the user to understand, and we will write here as enter the contents of the file terminated by control plus D. Terminated by control plus D. So what is the meaning of this line? So if you recall again, we understood two concepts. One is end of line and another is end of file. So now how does the file understand that whatever the user wanted to type is finished? So for that, whenever we try to write certain contents, what we can do is we can press Control D. We have studied this in Linux. When we try to open a file or we create a file using the cat command, we try to write or we try to type certain letters there. Once we need to save, we press Control D. So the Control D here will act as end of the file. So that is what we are telling the user. So enter the contents of the file means type the contents that you want to type in this particular file. Once you are finished, you need to end it, you need to save it by typing Control D, Control plus D. Next, just like we made use of a while loop for our getC function, for the putC also we will write the while loop. So I'll write while. Now what I want is I need to I'll make use of this variable ch. Okay, and since the user is going to type through the keyboard letter by letter, so we need to make use of the getChar function, right? So whatever the user types through the getChar function will be stored on the variable ch. So till when will it be stored in the variable ch? Till we do not reach the end of the file. So how do we know we have reached end of the file? Once the user press Ctrl D, means he is exiting. So after this we will just write put C. This put C function takes again two parameters. One is the variable that needs to be printed, that is ch. Ch is going to store the letter whatever the user is typing on the keyboard. So that letter we need to put. Where do we need to put this letter? On the file pointed by this fp. So here another parameter is going to be our file pointer. So once this is done, the next thing that we need to do, we need to just close our file and pass this particular file pointer. Now since this particular output.txt is not existing, let us try to execute and see how the file is created. Have a look here once again. There is no file called as output.txt. Okay. So we will go to the terminal now. Let us first compile our program. We have missed out a bracket. Let us check where we have missed out the bracket. So here another bracket needs to be closed. We'll go back, compile it once again. So no errors. Let us run the program. So here, this file was not existing. The file has been created and now is opened in the write mode. So we did not get this message. It means the file opening has been successful. So we have got this printf statement and it is asking us to enter the characters or the contents, right? So now once I type here, hello students, okay, this is going to be the content. So how does this work? The moment I type H, this letter H, okay, this letter H is put in this variable ch, stored in this variable ch, and now this ch contains the letter H and is going to be written on the file output.txt. Next, I will write the letter E. Similarly, E will also be stored in the variable ch with the help of this getChar function. The getChar function, the moment the user presses a key on the keyboard, it stores that value on this variable. And again, this put C function will help us to write that particular letter E to which file? To the file pointed by this fp. So fp is pointing to the file output.txt. So likewise, I will write. Now, I need to end this. The file, end of file. Once the end of file character is reached, that is when the file, the indication is that we need to stop running the loop, or we need to exit from the loop. So I am going to press Ctrl D. So once this is done, the execution is over. Let us go to the directory and check. See, you have a file here, output.txt. Let us open and check. So the same contents, whatever was typed, is present in this particular file. So we can also check it with the help of cat command here. We can write cat and we can write output.txt. So you can see the same contents are being displayed. Now, since the file is already existing, okay, this file has been created now, it means it is existing and this is the content. So what I will do is, I will execute it once again. So this time, let us write different sentences here. So now I will save this file. Now let me check whether the contents have been replaced, because the file was already existing and we are trying to open it in the write mode. So I will say cat and the file name. So you can see here the contents have changed. Let us go back and check here also. So we'll reload it. So you can see the new contents again. The content has been replaced. So if your file is already existing and you perform the write operation, the contents will be replaced. So this is about the putc function in files.